Right now, as you're watching this video, something is fighting for your attention. Maybe it's your phone, maybe it's another tab, maybe it's a notification, maybe it's just your own thoughts. And that's exactly the problem. Because most people think they can't focus anymore. They think their attention span is broken. They think they're lazy, undisciplined, unmotivated. But what if that's not true? What if the reason you can't focus isn't because you're weak, but because your attention is under attack every single day? Think about it. Have you ever opened YouTube to watch one video and suddenly an hour disappeared? Have you ever picked up your phone for 5 minutes and somehow ended up scrolling for 40? Have you ever started a game and completely lost track of time? Of course you have. Everyone has. And that's important because it proves something. You can focus. Your brain is capable of intense concentration. In fact, your brain can focus so deeply that it forgets time exists. So if that's true, why can't you focus on your goals? Why does a 2-hour movie feel easy, but 20 minutes of studying feels painful? Why can you watch 10 videos in a row, but struggle to read 10 pages of a book? Most people think the answer is discipline. They're wrong. The answer is far more dangerous. Because somewhere along the way, your attention became someone else's business model. Every notification, every recommendation, every endless feed, every autoplay video, every swipe, every vibration, every alert. Thousands of the smartest engineers in the world are competing for one thing, your focus, because your focus is valuable, and if they can keep it, they make money. Now here's where things get scary. Most people don't realize this is happening. They simply wake up one day and feel different. They feel distracted, restless, unable to sit still, unable to work, unable to concentrate, and they assume something is wrong with them. But imagine feeding your body junk food for 10 years. Would you blame your body for craving sugar? Of course not. Then why blame your brain for craving stimulation? Your brain adapted. That's what brains do. And the good news is that if attention can be trained in one direction, it can be trained in the other. But before we talk about hyperfocus, we need to understand something most people never realize. Hyperfocus is not a superpower. You've already experienced it many times. You just experienced it on things you didn't choose. Think back to a time when you became completely absorbed in something. Maybe it was a game, a movie, a conversation, a project, a hobby. For hours, you forgot about everything else. You weren't forcing yourself. You weren't using discipline. You weren't fighting distractions. You simply disappeared into the activity. That's hyperfocus. And that changes everything. Because if you've already experienced hyperfocus, then your goal isn't to create it. Your goal is to trigger it intentionally. And that's where most advice fails. People tell you to be more disciplined, wake up earlier, try harder, work harder, push harder, but hyperfocus doesn't happen because you force it. Hyperfocus happens when the conditions are right. Think about a magnifying glass. Sunlight is powerful, but when it's scattered, nothing happens. When it's focused into a single point, it can start a fire. Your attention works exactly the same way. Scattered attention creates frustration, focused attention creates momentum, momentum creates hyperfocus, but there's something standing in the way: friction. Tiny, invisible obstacles that destroy focus before it even begins. Imagine sitting down to work. Your phone is next to you. Notifications are enabled, messages are arriving, 10 browser tabs are open, your desk is cluttered, music is distracting. And then you wonder why focusing feels impossible. That's like trying to sleep in a room where someone keeps turning the lights on. You don't have a focus problem, you have an interruption problem. And interruptions are expensive, not because they steal seconds, because they destroy momentum. Research has repeatedly shown that after an interruption, it can take significant time to regain deep concentration. Think about that. A 10-second notification can destroy minutes of focus. Now multiply that by dozens of interruptions every day. No wonder people feel distracted. No wonder deep work feels impossible. But here's the first key to hyperfocus. Protect your attention. Treat it like something valuable, because it is. The second key is clarity. Your brain hates ambiguity. Most people sit down and tell themselves, I'm going to work. But what does that mean? Work on what? For how long? What's the target? What's the goal? Your brain doesn't know. And confusion creates resistance. Instead of saying, I'm going to study, say, I'm going to finish 10 pages. Instead of, I'm going to write, say, I'm going to write 300 words. Specific goals reduce mental friction, and reduced friction increases focus. Now here's where things get interesting. Most people wait for motivation. They think they'll start once they feel ready. But hyperfocus rarely begins with motivation. It begins with movement. Action comes first. Motivation follows. Think about pushing a heavy car. The hardest part isn't keeping it moving. The hardest part is starting. Focus works the same way. The first 5 minutes are usually the hardest. After that, something changes. Your brain settles. Resistance decreases, attention narrows, and momentum begins. Which leads to a question. Why do games create hyperfocus so easily? Why do movies hold our attention? Why can people spend hours on entertainment without effort? Because those experiences have 3 things. Clear goals, immediate feedback, constant progress. Your brain loves progress, it loves movement, it loves seeing results. Which means if you want hyperfocus, you need to create those same conditions. Break big goals into small wins. Make progress visible. Give your brain a target, and suddenly focus becomes easier. But there's another obstacle, and this one is more dangerous than distractions. Dopamine overload. Imagine eating your favorite food every hour. Eventually it stops feeling special. The same thing happens with stimulation. When your brain receives constant entertainment, constant novelty, constant rewards, normal life starts feeling boring. Studying feels boring. Working feels boring. Reading feels boring. Not because those things are boring, because your brain became used to extreme stimulation. This is why silence feels uncomfortable for many people. It's why boredom feels painful. It's why people reach for their phones automatically. Their brains have forgotten how to be still. But here's the twist. Boredom is not your enemy. Boredom is the doorway to focus. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't the people who never feel bored. They're the people who can move through boredom without escaping it. Because on the other side of boredom, deep focus begins, and on the other side of deep focus, remarkable work happens. Skills improve, ideas connect, creativity emerges, time disappears, and that's when hyperfocus starts feeling like a superpower. But maybe the biggest mistake people make is believing focus is about productivity. It isn't. Focus is about life. Because whatever receives your attention becomes your experience. Your attention determines your memories. Your memories determine your life. If your attention is constantly fragmented, your life feels fragmented. If your attention is constantly scattered, your life feels scattered. But when your attention becomes intentional, everything changes. You start noticing more, learning more, creating more, living more. And that's why hyperfocus matters. Not because it helps you work harder, because it helps you live deeper. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. One version of you spends every day reacting, checking notifications, switching tasks, scrolling endlessly, following distractions. The other version protects attention, practices focus, builds skills, creates things, learns deeply. Who do you think becomes more successful? Who do you think becomes more fulfilled? Who do you think looks back with fewer regrets? The difference isn't talent, the difference is attention. And that's why attention may be the most valuable resource in the modern world. More valuable than information, more valuable than intelligence. Because without attention, none of those things can be used effectively. So if you want hyperfocus, stop chasing hacks. Stop looking for magical shortcuts. Start protecting your attention. Reduce distractions. Create clarity. Embrace boredom. Build momentum. Practice depth. And remember this. The ability to focus was never lost. You weren't born distracted. You were trained to be distracted, which means you can train yourself in the opposite direction. One choice at a time. One focused session at a time. One distraction resisted at a time. And one day you'll sit down to work, and something incredible will happen. The noise will fade. The urge to check your phone will disappear. Time will start moving differently. Hours will feel like minutes. You'll become completely absorbed. And you'll realize something. Hyperfocus was never a superpower reserved for a lucky few. It was a skill hidden underneath years of distraction, a skill waiting to be rediscovered. And the moment you reclaim it, you stop feeling controlled by your attention, you start controlling it. If you have reached till here, then comment how much time you took your phone for nothing but just enjoyment, and if you want more content like this, then subscribe to our channel.